Let's head back to KwaZulu-Natal now. The High Court in Pietermaritzburg will hear from President Jacob Zuma's application to have Senior Prosecutor Billy Downer recused from his corruption case. Zuma is arguing that Downer lacks independence and impartiality. Well, the former president and French arms manufacturer Thales are on trial over the controversial multi-billion rand arms deal. But for more insight into this, we're now joined by political analyst Mr. Bheki Mngomezulu. Mr. Mngomezulu, thank you for your time. A pleasure talking to you this morning. What's your perspective on the Jacob Zuma Foundation, the legal representatives, obviously representing the former president, saying that they find Billy Downer impartial, biased, and also they find that he actually invaded the former president's privacy when they alleged that he leaked his medical parole certificate?
No, thank you very much for having me, Ms. Tumi. I think the former president's matter is concerning for a number of reasons. In the first instance, Billy Downer is a legal expert. So one would have expected him to act like someone who is knowledgeable in law. But then the kinds of things that have happened for a couple of years now are concerning. And in fact, this ends his legal profession, because if you occupy a certain position in society and you know that that position is influential, and you also move from the premise that our judiciary is said to be independent, the question then is, how do you get involved in political squabbles if you know that at some point you will have to preside over a matter in which you were involved? So I think this is the point of departure. So Billy Downer shot himself in the foot when he, in fact, worked together, he collaborated with the DA on the Zuma matter. So knowing very well that at some point, in his position as a lawyer or as a prosecutor, he will be expected to preside over the matter. So I don't know if maybe he applied his mind when he took the decision, or if in fact he thought because the issue concerns the former president, then it will be just easy for him to come in and come out and wear different hats on the same matter. I think he is to blame for all of this. As a matter of fact, I don't blame the Jacob Zuma Foundation. They are on point in their argument, in my view.
Well, some may criticize, Zuma's legal representatives, saying they're playing into delaying tactics because we're seeing more and more of these cases being postponed and taken on. However, others say that work lies ahead for the NPA, even though they say they're ready to, of course, sit on trial and continue with the case. What work do you think then lies ahead for Billy Downer to prove his innocence if he believes he is?
You know what, System? Let's start with the first statement. Those who hold the view that the former president is playing delaying tactics, I think they are not being fair to themselves, let alone the public. They are not being fair to themselves. Because the first question we have to ask ourselves is, has Zuma and his legal team acted outside of the law? My answer is an emphatic no. And then also, if this is the first time that we see someone using the legal avenues to prove his or her point, then we'll be talking a different story. In this case, what Zuma is doing is what is permissible in law. Anyone then who has a different opinion will have to prove that, one, former President Zuma has acted illegally by, in fact, providing this application or making this application that Billy Downer should recuse himself, or say that you cannot ask a prosecutor to recuse himself. If that is the case, then they have a point. But as far as I'm concerned, at the moment, Zuma is doing what you and I, in fact, could do without breaking any law. As for Billy Downer, for me, I think that we shouldn't be where we are right now. If I were Billy Downer, what I would have done the first day that the Zuma legal team said that he must recuse himself for the reasons they provided, I would have just stepped aside, because in any case, it doesn't mean that the prosecution of the former president depends solely on him. He is not the Messiah. He's just one of the prosecutors. So if he recuses himself, someone else comes in, the case will still continue. I don't know why he's so interested in this case and why he's so obsessed with this case. Honestly speaking, I don't understand it. But maybe he has more reasons for his actions.
Well, we'll have to see what happens in court today, and I appreciate your views this morning, Mr. Bheki Mngomezulu, political analyst, talking to us about, of course, what he foresees in today's case.